It's now Wednesday, the 22nd of January 2020. As the rainfall chart here shows us, at the time of the approach of the cell that I was discussing on the night of the 20th of January, we were sitting around, as it confirmed here now by the rain charts, at 13.6. Well, those passing cells only dropped a couple of more mils, and we finished up with a total of 14.6 millimetres here at Wyndham, or as I so eloquently described it on the night of the 20th of January. Well, for us, that last cell I was talking about turned out to be little more than a wet fart. And from there, we've received very little rain, 1.6 millimetres on Tuesday the 21st, nothing today. The weather today is relatively mild, but conditions are expected to start warming up over the next few days yet again. What works in our favour, of course, is the moderate wind conditions over the next week, with humidity up a little bit due to this rain. The Rural Fire Brigade commentary on the 20th of January, they announce here a fair warning. We are expecting to see a return to less favourable conditions later in the week, so we're not out of the woods yet, but this rain has certainly helped. That is about as good a summation you could make of it. As for up on the border fireground, it seems that all up they got a total of 15.8 millimetres of rain, which is indeed a good thing. As for here at Wyndham, we have just been staying close to home and doing a little bit more preparatory work. You can never have enough done, and there never will be enough done. But we note that of the rain that fell on the 20th, even though we had probably up to 15 mil penetration into the soil yet again is dry.
Heat from bushfires can cause
Our weather forecast from last night has deteriorated, and we now have a severe fire danger rating over the entire area. Last night the fire weather warning was located further north of us, and overnight and with the morning adjustments from some 20 minutes ago, our area on the far southeast has again been included into that fire weather warning nominated area. We've just had notification of a fire up at Rocky Hall, or more specifically up on the Big Jack Mountain Road to the top of the escarpment at in the Cathcart area. It's currently on amber, which is the notification of watch and act. Can't see any sign of it at this stage. It's only a few kilometres away. It's been a quiet morning. We've been notified that the choppers are very busy working on the coast in the Eden area. As per normal, we've heard nothing here. The only chopper we ever hear is the one coming through to check the I guess the status of the fires, that is the boundaries of the fires, usually after lunch sometime. Well, that's an assumption on our behalf, but otherwise we hear no appliances on the road, we hear no sirens, we hear nothing. It has been made clear to us that we're on our own, and that's how it is. This fire up on what is the Big Jack Mountain Road now has the feel of a lightning strike. Small fire on the edge of the escarpment there. They're quite common to this area. It takes us back to when the cells came through the other night. There was a lot of lightning with them at the time. Only takes one hit, it sits there smouldering. The surround's dry a little bit, you get a wind come through, the smoulder becomes a little fire becomes a big one. Why the choppers didn't get up there straight away and snuff it is beyond me. And now it's on amber. Watch and act. The fire on Big Jack Mountain Road has just gone hot, as you can see. It's red. The winds have definitely coming now from the northwesterly into us here, and they are earlier and stronger than predicted for this time of day. That has the effect of taking that fire if it gets away from them, which it obviously already has. This is Wyndham here. Warnings have been put out for evacuation from the Mount Darra area, and the evacuation route is being advised as down the Mount Darra Road through Wyndham towards the coast at this stage. Here is the advice. Fire is burning in the area of Big Jack Mountain and Rocky Hall. Strong northwesterly winds are being experienced. Properties in the area of Mount Darra, Rocky Hall and Stoves Road may come under threat. If you are in the area of Mount Darra, Rocky Hall or Wyndham and your plan is to leave or you are not prepared, leave now before it is too late. Leave only if the path is clear. Leave towards Pambula. End of story. We're in trouble yet again. Here goes our sky from the west. Very dirty, smoke coming in. That's looking directly up to the area of this Big Jack Mountain Road fire. The winds are picking up. They're definitely northwesterly. Things are looking dangerous for the people living in the hills to our west and for Wyndham here. And here we are discussing our options. All we can do is hook up and go back on full alert.
Move 2K.
2 kilometres, that's a long way.
Let's move 2Ks in an hour.
So this northwesterly at the moment, which wasn't predicted to be here till later this afternoon, evening, is on us now, and at a time when it's supposed to be a northeasterly running at 6 kilometres an hour. This would have to be 30-40 kilometres an hour. While we've been fiddling here with the vehicle, the fire's reported to have moved 2 kilometres in our direction.
Because it's on the other side of the Darra, let's hope that they got the crews up there.
Well, I've heard no appliances go through town at all, and I've heard no aircraft yet they've got aircraft flying around.
They were going yesterday all day.
Yeah, we don't have
choppers in Meringana.
Yeah, we do not have the assets out here. They're protecting assets, and we're on our own. Let's face it.
Are we minions?
Minions.
Now, how do you spell that? I've been trying to look it up.
Minions or plebs?
Yeah, I know plebs.
You know plebs.
I can
Now,
spell that. How do
now
you spell
listen.
minion?
Listen, before the wheels fall completely off, this neighbour of mine, that's his bloody tree, and all this bloody candle bark that's blowing down here and on the roof is his. And I want that for the fire authority assessment groups when they come around, and insurance companies start checking this area out. Mate.
Yeah.
Just seeing one of the neighbours out, not a well man. And that's looking straight through to the edge of the, in fact, the coastal escarpment. You won't see it's in the smoke, but that's where the fire is, directly to the front of the camera. I told him that you were useless to him because you've got a cat phobia.
Good.
And he said, yeah.
Oh, good. That's even better.
I was hoping you bloody will put him to work picking up his bark, Lorraine.
No, the wind's backed off and the smoke's gone.
Well, we're still hot. Wind gusts up at Bombala have been described as up to 90k an hour. We're not getting that down here, thankfully. Very strong fire smell. Looking in the direction of this latest Big Jack Mountain Road fire. That's putting the village of Wyndham under threat, along with Rocky Hall and Burrigat, and if it keeps going to the southeast, Toowoomba, etc. Don't want to jump the gun too much, but decided here to put the seals back into the gutters, just in case I have to fill them once again. But we won't rush into the filling, we'll wait it out and see what happens, because there's a distinct feeling of damp air, along with the heat, the smoke and the dust from out west. Changed my mind and decided to fill the house ones, but I must admit, looking out there directly to the west now, you'd swear that was rain mixed up with the smoke and the dust now. We shall see. It's 1400 hours. The fire map is just refreshed. This here is the current extent of the so-termed Big Jack Mountain Road fire. It is being pushed by northwesterly winds coming at it here, and it is potentially being pushed to the southeast through this country here. This is the Toowoomba River, that's Cathcart there, this is the Mount Darra Road coming down. Wyndham is located just there. Well, that's more direct westerly now. West-northwest. Straight from the fireground at Big Jack Mountain Road. It's been apparently very erratic up there, difficult to get a handle on the fire. Won't happen in this weather. We now know that it's because of these winds that none of the choppers have been able to get up to come out here and help. And we now know that up in the high country there, up in the snowy, one of the big Hercules air tankers has gone in and they're currently searching for it. Things could be better. It's 17:20 and they've just dropped the emergency warning on the Big Jack Mountain fire to our northwest to watch and act. That's taken the pressure off us for this afternoon. The northwesterly winds are slowly abating and we may get this cooler southerly change through, which will help even more. But this is a fire that's going to trouble us for a long time to come yet. That's right on the edge of the escarpment there. That's Mount Darra. The escarpment runs around at the top of the Bega Valley here and back round like that through the Coolangatta. 2100 hours. The southerly change that came up the coast has finally got the upper hand and we've cooled down considerably. The Big Jack Mountain Road is just burning away slowly there now to our west. It's 240 odd hectares in size and it'll become similar to the major border fire to our south. It'll just creep along, occasionally blow up and threaten us until such time sufficient rain falls upon it and blacks it out. The first fire was the Myrtle Mountain Road fire, which was to our north there. We've been so involved with other fires that it's just quietly disappeared off the fire map and no further comment made about it. Because it's no longer recorded, one assumes that the RFS has declared it at blackout. Thankful for that. Would have been the case anyway with the rain we had only, it seems like a week ago, but night before last. It's been a terrible day for the southeast of Australia. 3 lives lost. January 2020, 18:30 hours. This is the Rural Fire Service fire map, just to give an overall SIP rep on our circumstances here at Wyndham at this time. We have the border fire threatening Wyndham to its south. We now have the combined fire known as the Badja fire, the fire that currently is spread around three sides of our Punu Karonpa property at Desert Creek. To our north, we have what is the big Jack Mountain Road fire to our immediate west, and since I reported the other day, starting almost at the same time is what is known as the Glen Allen fire up on the edge of the escarpment as well, which is to our northwest. This fire has spread rather quickly. It started up over the edge of the escarpment onto the flat ground. There's a pine forest located to its rear there on the side of the major Bombala Road leading back up to the Snowy Mountains Road. But this Glen Allen fire, of course, has dropped over the edge of the escarpment. Now the report is that they are attempting to put containment lines around it, but I suspect this will be on the top of the escarpment, not necessarily dropping over the edge of the escarpment into the Tantawanglo forest area. It's trying to work out that puts us in potentially a worse position here at Wyndham than we have been to date. The weather, as expected, has returned to a benign status. It's been generally northeasterly, but is due to heat up through the week, and by the 2nd, 3rd of February we have predicted hot conditions are returning to the southeast here. Our humidity is low at the moment, so one doesn't expect that to increase, and there is no indication of rain on the horizon. Looking at these two fires, this area here is the Glen Allen pine forests. One might regard them as an asset. You can see that private property here, the fire started in this area somewhere, and obviously you come to the edge of the escarpment here and you drop over into the Tantawanglo regions, which, as said, is all but due northwest of Wyndham, located in this area just here. Meanwhile, even though it's quite right down at the moment, we have the big Jack Mountain Road fire sitting just here. Both of them have the feel of being lightning strikes from the storms that passed over us a few nights ago. That would be quite normal for this escarpment country, but once you drop over into the escarpment country, of course, becomes very difficult to control. So they burn to our west and wait for the next lot of fire weather. I guess they wanted to make a liar out of me.
That's still coming. It's going to come right over.
And that will be the recce chopper. 26 January 2020, 1500 hours. We've just been notified via media that we have a new fire above us here at Wyndham, known as the Postmans Trail fire. The Postman's Trail, of course, was the old route the postman used to take down or up from Bega, Candlo, up through to Bombala, etc., up through the escarpment. The other immediate problem is that the Glen Allen fire has gone hot. You can see it's eaten its way a long way down over the edge of the escarpment and is getting into these trails. Here's your rough line of the escarpment there. As said yesterday, we're informed that they had equipment in there trying to clear lines around the boundary of the fire here to slow it down. But the good news is, with this latest warning, notify that firefighters are working with aircraft to slow the spread of the fire. Thank you. Let's get those choppers nipping these things in the bud. I mean, this Postmans Trail fire here, I might only suspect is a spot fire from the Glen Allen fire. It looks fairly obvious. It's become a separate entity in itself now, according to the RFS. 1520. The notification of further good news has just been received over the Far South Coast Rural Fire Service Facebook page. It's a warning to residents around Tantawanglo and Wyndham can expect to see a large air tanker overhead shortly. There is no short-term threat to people in these areas. The aircraft is being used to assist firefighting operations on the Cree-War fire, that is the Glen Allen fire, as I've been terming it. Wonderful news. Wonderful. Wyndham Hall. The board reads, Bushfire Neighbourhood Safer Place, a place of last resort, New South Wales Government. Whatever that means. That is the Wyndham Volunteer Rural Fire Brigade shed. No comment. Coming down to the oval, the hill to our front there is the northern end of what is known as the Little Jingara Peaks. Coming down to Stanton Rock, what is known as Stanton Rock, and then into the village of Wyndham itself. Looking across through here is towards the Egan Peaks area, which can't be seen because of the smoke at this time. Wyndham Oval would be our last choice of refuge. Should this area be run over by fire. That is, if we haven't concluded to leave earlier and head for the coast. Wyndham General Store. When I've got visitors staying over, I like to bring them through here at night so that I can show them the 3 street lights of Wyndham. We're a big enterprise here. They didn't even know we're down there on the 4th, the night of the 4th. Although they have made it clear to us that we're all on our own, and I accept that. But when they ask you to register, you expect them to be aware that you're actually there. Needless to say, no comment. Back we go into our own driveway. A blast of heat upon exiting the house. It is now the 31st of January 2020. Predicted fire weather conditions are coming upon us. Our neighbour Tony is safely ensconced in a motel on the coast. We have several contingency plans put together. For adjustment to circumstance as it presents itself. That breeze at the moment is northeasterly. It's with the coming of tomorrow morning, Saturday as it is, that the winds are predicted to switch to the northwest, and that will present an immediate threat to us here under these 3 lightning strike fires in the hills just 10 to 15 kilometres to the west of us here. Truth is, the fire weather forecasts are a smidgen better this morning than they were yesterday. That big trough that's coming across the continent at the moment is due to feed a lot of humid air with the potential for thunderstorms and hail into Victoria and Melbourne today and tomorrow. This will result in some sort of a southeasterly change coming up the coast towards us on Saturday night, Sunday. The important thing about what's happening down in Melbourne is that air that's coming down in that trough is bringing with it high levels of humidity. Returning to the fire map as it currently stands this morning, all fires concerning us here at Wyndham are currently at advice level. The so-termed Big Jack Mountain Road fire is stated as under control, while those of Glen Allen Cree and Postman Track fires are classified as being controlled. The other fire of concern, which is also at advice level at this time, is of course the so-termed border fire. This fire is obviously still active in this area here. This particular hotspot is located in the Coolangatta in the high country above Rocky Hall and Burrigat. Wyndham being located here. Yesterday, at this point here, there was a spot fire marked. That is, the fire had spotted ahead to just there. Since last looking at the maps, it would appear that the fire has creeped forward to join the spot up as part of the actual fire front. So, even though our weather report here at Wyndham, it has improved marginally on what it has been over the last couple of days. These 3 fire fronts of direct interest to us are still active. Tomorrow's fire weather is predicted as northwesterly. That is, move these fires in a southeasterly direction, and should it blow up as a firestorm, even more so. The weather on the Sunday returns back to more southerly conditions. That then activates border fire to again start creeping forward. But as earlier stated, there is a lot of moisture predicted to be pouring into the Victorian side of the border and over Melbourne in the major trough that is connecting the northwest range with the southeast of Australia at this time. It's 1500 hours and we've just been notified that both the Big Jack Mountain Road fire and the Glen Allen pre-war fire have gone to yellow or watch and act, with the Big Jack Mountain Road fire now crossing the Mount Darra Road and causing it to be closed. In addition to that, the Postmans Track fire has apparently advanced to some stage or other as to cause the Tantawangalo Mountain Road to be closed. These 2 fires going to watch and act could hardly be of surprise to anyone who lives throughout this area. You can never be prepared enough for occasions such as these in Australia, but we've done what we can. The yard is as prepared as it can be. We've tested all equipment. This unit here is our last resort. Town water would have long gone off by the time we have to use this, if we're still here, that is. But it's 5,000 gallons ready to go over the house. I say if we're still here, because if it's a firestorm coming directly at us, we're on our bike and out of here. If it's a standard, well, what's standard these days, but if it's a fire that conforms to what I'm conditioned to, we'll be here to fight it off. All gutters are again plugged and full of water. So all we can do now is be vigilant, be ready to move into our plan in the knowledge that the first thing that can go wrong is the plan. Initiative as developed on our collective knowledge, as it may well be or not be.